Start off. Okay, we're gonna do this. We ready? We ready to go? All right.
Yes, we're live now.
Dun-na-na, dun-na-na. Guess who's back? It's your boy Phantom Rebel, aka Mr. Cox. For those who don't know me. No, but seriously, just a little background info about myself. I'm a rebel by nature with no real titles to justify your attention. I just have a knack for spotting bullshit, holding people accountable for things, namely myself. So just know when I'm saying or suggesting certain things. Just really based on my opinion, a little bit of research that I also apply these things to myself. I think that's really important when you have an opinion that you're putting out there for people to critique and to look at, and listen to. So, just to try to be, as universally grounded as I possibly can, to consider most things as much as I've absorbed in my, young 44 years. So, I think it's important to say that because I think a lot of people do, look at titles and hold those things kind of near and dear in terms of how you, respect the information coming from that particular individual. But sometimes, it's not always.
It's experience.
It's experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's experience, and it's not always a conditioned thing. So, just want to let you guys know that I love providing practical life examples for those who might be looking at life through a pre-filtered lens. Following customs predetermined by someone else's wants, someone else's desires. But what happened when those things don't line up with your personal belief systems? The ones that your parents, teachers, and pastors indoctrinate us with. Things like go to college, buy a house with a picket fence, get married, blah, 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 But, if those narratives don't fit with your current existence, then what do you do? How do you proceed? How do you find?
What are your next steps?
What are your next steps?
Do you conform or do you live life?
Right. And I think that's where everyone kind of is right now. I think COVID, obviously has put life in perspective for a lot of us. A lot of us are considering things that we may not have before, or maybe putting it more of importance. I think people are less focused on career and titles per se, and more just what makes them happy.
Spending time with family and
kind of getting back to
nature and
all those
people
things.
Just want to chill. I know I just want to
at the
chill.
end of the
I want
day,
to take a nap.
Right.
That's my thing.
That is it. So we only get one life, one existence.
Yeah.
So why are you gonna use that time trying to please other people?
Right.
People spend their whole life sacrificing themselves for the appeasement of others, and I personally don't agree with that.
You really don't.
Not at all. But I think that's why this podcast was so important to Natasha and I. Is where do these burning desires come from? And how can they be eradicated? Right? How can you reprogram yourself to look at life differently than what you were taught? Because as we know, as we grow in age, we find that that our parents may not necessarily have gone about things
the way we wanted
them to,
right.
Because no one's perfect. I mean, our whole idea is to make your child's life better than what yours was, and I think that most parents aspire to do that and do accomplish that to a large degree.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's just a little bit about your boy, So
that's why I love you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Well, wow, mic drop. That's my goodie though. Stepping on heads before we even start, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Hey, y'all, this is Tasha. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to episode 1 of The Untold Experience.
The Untold Experience, baby.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, your girl is an activist who can't stand to see people mistreated. That's like my pet peeve.
Yeah. And something that sometimes gets you in a little bit of trouble, too. Because I think that, you being an activist and also not, liking the fact that people are mistreated.
Yeah.
Put you in some compromising positions. I can recall a story where you told me you saw, a young lady in traffic being, spoke to by,
I remember.
a male figure who was very agitated, very aggressive, and you chose to speak up for this, particular young lady who probably did not have the courage to speak up herself.
Yes. I was like, hey, you leave her alone.
Yeah. Which jarred him, right? Like,
he was like, what? I was like, I'm taking pictures. I got pictures.
Right.
You don't want this life.
Well,
You're not about this life over here.
Yeah. And I think people have gotten away from that, right? That lack of wanting to get involved with other people's situations is none of my business. This whole none of my business thing is just, it kind of fringes on the whole Good Samaritan law that we all should still be kind of abiding by. You see someone wronged, you should say something. You see
absolutely
someone being marginalized or any, it doesn't matter if it's the someone within your race or someone within your category of issue, whatever your issue is,
who has the same sexual preference. Like, no, I don't care what sexual preference you have. If you've been mistreated, like, I'm gonna stick up for you. Like,
absolutely, honey.
Yeah. So, like, for real, it's just truly the audacity for me. And as Craig always say, I've always got something to say.
She does.
And I just want to thank y'all for clicking on this app to hang out with us and to hear us banter.
Yeah.
I am truly excited to share what we have in store for the show. Like, this show.
Super excited.
I'm dancing the jig right now. Y'all don't even know.
You guys,
I do my dance.
We're so random, guys. Like, you don't even understand. I mean, but one thing,
random.
Yes, one thing that also, I think is important with the randomness is also, we're both history fanatics. We both love to read. Right. We both don't enjoy not knowing what we talk about. So, even though that, we haven't, I guess, necessarily accomplished, these prestigious things, to warrant your listening ears.
Like, we're not experts.
Right.
By any means. Let me just put that note right there. We're not experts.
Look, we're recording this whole situation in an RV on our cell phone just to give you a little bit of an example.
On Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Wait, we forgot to say Merry Christmas.
We forgot to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's December 25th, 2022. Yeah.
Yep, moving into the new year.
Yeah.
So,
and we're coming up on a year of our
relationship. Yep. One whole year. Yeah.
Almost.
Which they say is the hardest. I hear people say, different things about, timelines and relationships, and you get to this point. This is the 7-year itch, or this is the
7 years.
or but I think that
it's a 1 year itch.
Yeah. But it's those kind of misconceptions that we want to dispel, right? Because so often we are bound, by these mantras, these sayings, these old wife tales that we carry for years and years and years. These beliefs.
Actually, they're rituals. If you really
that's
think
pretty
about
much
it.
what they are.
Why are we doing it?
Why does it line up with what you have going on in your life right now? I mean, time is always changing, right? Like, everything is always changing. So why why hold yourself to a custom or to, a belief system that someone, that was, that applied to someone that existed in a time period where they didn't have as many amenities or, things that advanced culture has now, right? So, I mean, not that traditions are bad, right?
Right,
Like
right.
there's certain traditions that we still
That we
enjoy
need
and that
because
we need.
that's a part of our culture
It's a
and
part
our
of our
history.
culture, right? Yeah.
Sometimes we got to keep things that and document things for part of our history, but some of these things that, we're going to have to let go, as a people if we want to progress. Not just as Black people, but as just
Human beings.
humans.
Yeah.
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 There are things that we have to put away. So, we are truly excited to share what we have in store for the show.
Yeah.
Right? We have
For
some
sure.
good stuff in store. So just sit back with us in our virtual living room. Grab a beer, some water,
Or whatever,
sip some wine,
and
let's talk about it.
let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It being the untold experience.
The untold experience. And the untold experience being anything.
I'm gonna get my wine. I have wine. right
Get
here.
your wine, honey. Get your wine, baby.
I need my
Get your
wine.
wine. Okay.
Bruh,
the
everybody
night is
knows.
young.
Everybody
we ain't
knows
got
me
no
knows
kids.
I got wine.
Hey,
Yeah, and
you
Christmas is just you and I,
It's
and
just-
we're recording this
recording this
for you guys
podcast.
to show.
you
Like oh gosh, we want to make this show what you want it to be.
Yes. Yeah.
The
Right.
untold experience.
The untold experience, and it's exactly what the title entails. It's those things that it's like elephant in a room sort of conversations. The things that people, I guess, don't necessarily want to talk about necessarily or come to terms with. There's, I think that both you and I, just based on conversations we've had, over this past year, just about religion and, and how, it has, kind of, put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, and it has really dictated, I guess, the flow of the spirit. I think that a lot of people are, just like we talked about the Pharisees and how the people that persecuted Jesus. I think that
and who Jesus chose to hang out with.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that we're coming upon that same sort of time, where we, people are believing in kind of whatever they want, and not necessarily that there should be a restriction of belief, because I also believe that people should believe what they want, right? Like it shouldn't be a set standard belief system, because like we've talked about, and like you've taught me over the last year, even with your own spiritual walk, that there's other forces, not necessarily gods, right? Because I think that we get caught on the word God, and it keeps us separated, right? Because God could be Buddha, God could be Yahweh, or God,
It's it's the own personal relationship. Like, in the God of one's understanding, the God of my understanding may not be indeed the God of your understanding. And is that wrong, though?
Right.
Am I condemned because, if I'm a good person and I try to, do the best that I can, to find the best version of myself so that I can be a vessel and for God to be able to use me, because he can't use me if I'm not clean. Right? That's what I've learned.
Or if you're trying to prove someone else's religion isn't right? So now you done already took yourself, your focus off of what the intention is, because you so intent on proving someone wrong. So is it about spreading the message of love, or is it about a personal thing, right? But that you disguised as religion, right? And I think that that's what people regurgitate.
Or just beliefs too, like outside of religion, just like if you look at the social dynamic, and of course religion is the foundation of all of that, of all the social interactions and what's acceptable, in society and what's not acceptable. So and then economically, it's like they're all intersected, like intertwined. And it all revolves around each other, and it's all just about beliefs. So, but should be about love, and what it takes to, ensure that all our entire community, is headed in the right direction. And that's what this show is all about, y'all. The show is going to cover a plethora of things, and as we move forward, and especially I just want to say that this particular show is just to let you guys know what we're all about.
Yeah.
What we're going to talk about.
That's it.
Yeah, so there's no rhyme or reason, there's no real topic other than us introducing the show, introducing ourselves, and I want you guys to hear us banter and then communicate with us via our email, which we will give you later.
Yeah, but trust me, y'all, there's definitely more content.
Yeah.
Discussion topics that we will cover.
Yep.
Deep conversations we'll get into.
Yep.
Like Natasha said, this is just an intro. You guys to hear our voice, kind of feel our vibe out a little bit, and kind of decide if you want to listen a little more. Which you should.
Yeah,
because
I think you should too.
It's definitely going to be fun. It's going to be an exploration.
Yeah.
We're both adventurers at heart. So I think that spirit will allow us to, kind of dive into some things, right?
Because social media, like, it seems to present unrealistic expectations for our culture, for not just our culture as Black people, but as our culture as Americans. And what we deem important, what we deem is beautiful, and how we have access to all of these people. And so with that, relationships, their tenure is declining, so we'll invite guest speakers to help us define culture and demonstrate diversity and inclusion while tackling controversial topics and more. We'll ask tough questions like, how does one find comfort when it's unacceptable to show emotion? Like, we can't let people know that we're upset. Like, why? I don't get it.
Yeah.
But Craig and I have also talked about the benefits of keeping your cool, because I wouldn't say I pop off all the time. I would say that I just address when boundaries are being crossed. Like, I'm like, no good. You're crossing my boundaries, or no, I don't like that.
No, yeah.
So, but that seems like that's, for some reason, is unacceptable. Like, and we can't have these hard conversations. It's also stigmatized to let people know that you're struggling. So I think that's why our mental health, as, just a society, is on a decline, especially after COVID.
Yeah, honey.
Because it's so stigmatized to be like, I am struggling mentally. Like, I'm uncomfortable being me. I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable being in public now, because we were so.
A lot of people are.
Yeah. I don't know. I was already an introvert and awkward socially. But since COVID, I got comfortable, and I know that I could do what I needed to do from home. So now it's time to go back into, public. People was like requesting face-to-face meetings. I'm like, okay.
Well, let's talk about that. So what about it? What changed for you? Like, what about not being exposed, I guess, to maybe other people, maybe a sense of normalcy? Like, what do you think changed for you? What?
I'd have to say that, just you have a sort of comfort, especially when you're already an introvert before something traumatic happens like COVID, and you're forced to be inside, away from people. So that was my comfort zone. To other people, that drove them crazy, right? They was like, oh my God, I cannot believe I have to be remote or whatever. But I was like, yes.
This
Remote.
is right up my
I
alley.
like cats and dogs. I don't like people.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but now that I have to go back, and already having, social issues prior to COVID, it's like I have to start over and relearn like all of the things that I learned in order to cope, as an introvert. So, but yeah, I'm doing it. I got this awkward smile on my face, and so yeah, those are things, bruh. Okay. We segue. We
Segue.
have things. Segue.
Segue, honey.
We have a lot of things that we want to share with
Yeah.
you. And again, this is just the
Just
first.
the tip of the iceberg,
Yeah,
baby.
the tip of the iceberg. And ladies, the untold experience. Like, I just really want to say, we're going to tackle things about relationships and why it's important.
boy.
Yes, we're going to tackle those topics because, like, bruh, it's
Nothing
hard.
about me, y'all. I'm good.
Bruh, it is hard. I here for a pill.
See, when you hear her do that noise, that means she don't believe me, right? That means she's very doubtful about what I'm saying. Okay, so just
It is-
FYI,
Y'all,
that's what that means.
it's hard out here for a pimp.
It's hard out here for a pimp.
just
So now
gonna
you're a
tell
pimp. Okay. All right. Conversation after the podcast.
Okay, segue. Untold experience. Like, we're gonna talk about relationships and why sometimes, lady, is just good to cater to your man and let your man know how much you love him.
However, just like as my mom says, as the Bible says, right? Like, as your woman caters to you, man, and I'm paraphrasing here, right? Because I'm not saying exactly what it says in the Bible, but as your woman caters to you, my man, like, you have to realize that is not necessarily a right or it doesn't come automatically just because you're a man, right? It's not like preordained that your woman should do certain things. It has to
Right.
be cultivated, right? Like, you
Yeah.
have to.
And he's cultivated.
You have to.
Sorry.
You also, you have to really, honestly, you probably have to cater more to your girl than she does to you in order for her to cater, right? Like, in order for her to want to do those things.
Yeah.
There has to be a certain level of effort that goes into it prior to any effort going into you, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I think that has to be the spirit of a man, right? Like, you have to be, like I say, you have to be the one willing the most, not always, but the one willing the most to accept the suck factor in things,
Yeah.
right? Like, and I think that's one of those things also in the Bible where it says, you now must take upon the role of a man and leave childish things behind, and I think that's what that kind of means, it's just like, yeah, things may not be fair. Yeah. Certain situations where a man, I guess, is expected to, do certain things. Not that I'm into saying that, roles should be assigned to a specific gender, because I don't think that at all, right? Like, I'll take out the trash, I'll wash the dishes, I'll cook,
He cooks.
I'll wash the clothes,
Yeah. Wash
right?
the
Like,
clothes.
I may not do it as well as you do, mind you, but it's
He does
it's
it, and I'd be like, yes. Thank
right.
you very
But see,
much.
these are one of the things that we'll discuss, right? Because it's this new role that as couples, it's really hard to be a couple in 2022, right?
Yeah.
Because the dynamics of relationships have changed drastically, as we talked
Yeah.
about before. It's women, as you progress through culture, and obviously there's still a great disparity between men and women, but there's a lot
Which
more,
we'll talk about too.
right? But there's a lot more educated women, there's a lot more professional women, there's a lot more women making decent money. So the need of a man, right? Like, it's not, like we were just talking about, it's not the same as it was like it was, back in the day, maybe when our parents or maybe our grandparents were coming up, where a woman didn't work, or she probably didn't work full time. Maybe she worked part
And the
time.
man was working all the time, and
Right.
she was at home with the
Right.
kids. So what
Right.
else was she supposed to do?
So she had to conform a little more, right? So
Right.
even in situations where she wanted to leave or, weren't necessarily in love.
She didn't have the resources.
She didn't have the resources. She couldn't leave. So she was more likely to stay. Whereas now, right? You make your own
We
money.
got
It's like,
resources. Hey,
girl, I'm out of here, right? I ain't got to deal with this,
Bruh.
So
Bye.
the dynamics of the family have changed.
Right.
So,
But and so the staying power is gone. Is kind of what you're saying. I hear you saying, and that's some of the things too, ladies, that I want to talk about. Like, we also have to eat a little bit of crow too, even though yes, we are now also, bringing bread to the table, bringing home some of the bacon, and yeah, we still got to cook the bacon and clean the bacon and then put the bacon up and then wash the dishes that the bacon was on. Yeah, we still got to do all but we got to still kind of do that with grace, and that's what makes us strong, and
Yeah,
that's
honey.
what sets us apart, yeah, that's what actually submitting is. Submitting doesn't really mean, I don't know. Okay, so I'm still kind of old fashioned. So I know, ladies, I'm going to have a lot of emails be like, girl, you got to come into 2022. We don't think like that no more, girl. But I'm only tell you, like, maybe you should, kind of rethink that, because, when you have someone that actually, also caters to you, why not submit,
Yeah, honey.
It's
a dual submission, right?
Yeah, it's
a
dual
dual
submission.
submission. I think that's the
Yeah.
misconception, is that the woman is the one who should be submissive, and that's,
Yeah.
as my mom even explained to me one time. God bless her. You'll probably
Yes, shout out to
hear,
Mom,
Reverend Renee. You'll hear on the podcast eventually, but
Sandra Bingley. Simon is her her maiden name. My mom's a pastor too. She doesn't preach as much, but she is also. You may also hear from her.
Oh
but
yeah, we most
I
definitely
want to
have
also say that Reverend
Mama
Renee,
Sandra on there.
Yeah, Reverend Renee have devotional divas that happen.
Devotional divas.
Yeah, twice a month.
Yep.
So yeah, shout out to Reverend Renee,
Yeah.
and we would love to have her on the show. That just segue. That brings that brings us to our next thing. Basically like our popping off session. Like we'll have for the show different types of segments, and a part of our segments, we'll be shouting out what you're doing. We'll have guest speakers. We'll tell you, what they're doing. If you have a business that you want to promote, hit us up.
Hit us up.
Yeah, if you have a topic that you want us to actually explore, hit us up.
Popping off. That's
Yeah,
what it is,
popping
baby.
up,
Popping off.
whatever. We'll have raffles.
Hey, who doesn't love a raffle?
I like a raffle.
Right?
Y'all like to win prizes.
Hey, it
Like,
don't matter what the prize is.
Right, because we ain't got to lie.
Man,
Like,
look, I used to take my daughter. Look, speaking of prizes, you know how I used to get you at them little, what was it, Family Fun Center?
Yeah.
I think it was, type places where you go, you play some games and they give you some tickets. You go into places and you spend $30, $40 and, you might get, $200-$300, 300 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But then, your kid goes up to the table and the only thing they can get is some balloons. It's like, wait a minute. I just spent $30 on some balloons.
what is this?
We
This
could've
is
zoomed
like,
straight
it's
to
like
the-
50 cents at the dollar store.
I'm like, bro, they used to get, oh my God. But luckily the kids, had a great time and,
Yeah.
it always ended up being good. But man, they
Shout
used
out
to
to
get
the
me.
kids.
Shout out to the kids. Shout out to Fun Center too. I
Yeah.
think they closed some of them down, but they still got one open here down in Tacoma, I think it is.
Yeah. But hey, our time is almost up, and I just want to let you guys know how you can contact us. It is the Untold Experience at gmail.com. That is our email address. The Untold Bruh, is that right? If not, it'll be in the show
Yeah.
notes, y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
Because,
The
I
Untold
told y'all to
Experience.
get... Hey, also, y'all need to grab y'all some beer, some water and stuff, when y'all listen
Make
to
sure you
us.
drink that water first, though.
Drink the water
Drink the
first.
water first.
But I
and eat some bread
yeah, I drank some wine. So it's the Untold Experience at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Well, hey, we look...
That's what it.
Thank
That
you
was a
for
half
hanging...
hour.
Yes.
Damn.
Thank you for hanging out in our
Yeah,
virtual
thank you
living
guys.
room.
Yeah, this was nice.
Yes, our virtual living room with
Yeah.
friends.
Wow.
Yes, yes. So
Super cool.
we should be back. We'll have a guest speaker next time maybe. It'll be a
Maybe next time.
surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprise. Maybe. We'll
More to
see.
come on that.
More
Yeah.
to come.
We'll keep you guys in the know. Just tap in with us. You
Yep.
know, take this ride, go on this journey with us.
Yep,
Love you guys.
Yep, love you all. All right, bye.